Hello and welcome to my spooky little corner of the internet. My name is Chelsea and today we will be talking about the movie Fresh from 2022 and doing a cute little makeup look. Before we get into it, if you would please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like this, I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you go follow me on all of my socials at Chelsie Wrath. Oh, and now I have a letterboxd as well where I share all of my movies, kind of a little bit of what I think about it, no spoilers, so go check that out. Alright, let's get into the video. Okay, so we have our face on. Let's get into this movie. So I watched Fresh like 2 nights ago now, and it was really good. I want to give a little bit about the characters, about my thoughts, no spoilers, and another couple actually movie recommendations, and then I'm going to get into like what I thought about the movie, breakdown, all the spoilers. So Fresh itself is basically about a guy and girl. They meet, hit it off, and then it quickly turns into like an actual horror movie. And I don't want to give much more away because I personally think that you should just go in blind. So if you know nothing about this movie, just go in blind. You'll enjoy it a lot more, trust me. I made a post the other day. I always post like the movie I'm watching, and I try not to read the comments because like some people are just rude and they just like spoil the movie for everybody. But I was reading the comments that were coming through, and I usually read the first couple words, and usually if I see like spoiler alert or I feel like they're getting into the movie, like I'll stop reading and just like keep scrolling. But somebody literally was like, oh, this at the ending, and I was like, you literally just gave away the whole movie before I even watched it. Like, wow, that was rude. But I still enjoyed it, even though I knew exactly what was going to happen at the end already, because people are rude. And yes, I blocked that person, and if you do this on the bottom of my post, I will block you 100%. I mean, you can talk about the movie and be like, hey, spoiler alert, because I'll read it after I watch the movie. That's totally fine. But don't just be like, da-da-da happens. Like, done. You're done. You're out of here. We're over it. I hate that shit. It makes me mad. So the two main characters in this is Noah, who is played by Daisy Edgar Jones. She also plays on a show called Normal People. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks really cute. I always like to like find out like where these actors are in other roles or what other roles they've played. And the second like main character is Sebastian Stan. He plays Steve, and he actually is from the Avenger movies. He plays in like Captain America movies as Bucky Barnes. So I kind of, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I know him from somewhere because I love the Avenger movies, Marvel, huge Marvel fan. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, Bucky. So I don't know, that was kind of fun, kind of cute. Those are the two main characters, and then the other character that I absolutely love was Molly. I believe Molly is played by Janika Gibbs, so I'm gonna put it up here. I probably butchered that name because I'm literally the worst at names or sounding anything out, but she was literally my favorite character. She's just so cool. So if you watch it, she's so cool. We love Molly. So overall, I just really loved this movie. Like, it was just like it's a beautiful movie. It's very artistic, but not like in the artsy way where it's like annoying, you don't know what's going on. It's a very unique movie. Like, I like the music. I like the videography of it all. I love just the look of it along with the acting. So if you're into those kind of things, I think you'll really like it. And honestly, when I was watching it, it kind of gave me like the Invisible Man from 2020 vibes. Like, it made me want to go watch that as well. And that's another movie that I went in like not expecting a lot from and actually really enjoying it. So I feel like as soon as we get into the movie, like you show Noah and she is on like social media and she's like going on a date, like right kind of in the beginning. And first of all, I think we can all agree that Chad sucks. We all hate Chad. Literally his name's Chad. His stupid scarf, the stuff he says, everyone's annoyed, nobody likes him. And I think with that, like, it shows that she's kind of like a hopeless romantic. Like, she just wants to find somebody. So that kind of sets you up for the fact that if like literally any guy is just like nice to her, like she'll probably not even notice the red flags and just fall for him. Ooh. Which, to be honest, I mean, a lot of the red flags don't happen till later. I mean, Molly kind of knows, but also she's someone who Like I feel like everything's a red flag for Molly, to be honest. I really like Molly. Like her character is so funny and just so like in your face, and those are always my favorite characters, which we love that. But I think that's what kind of shows it, like it sets her up as being a victim. Not Molly, but Noah. So when Noah meets Steve for the first time, it's in the grocery store, and he is like super like charming and nice and sweet, and like this movie could have easily went into a like little romance comedy whatever instead of turning into a horror movie, which I think is what I love, because I do love like romantic comedies. I think they're so cute. And so like the whole like first 30 minutes of this is basically that, which some people were saying that it was like 30 minutes too long. But you needed that. Like, you needed to see the characters together, see how they met, see who more. You don't really see much about Steve, but you see kind of Noah and who she is. So like I think that character building needed to happen, because it's literally like the whole point of the movie itself. And then it started doing like these like begin credits after 30 minutes, which was a bold choice, but I did like it. And I just loved every like artistic choice to this movie. I thought the entire movie was beautiful. Even with the credits, like how they rolled them in and out looked cool. It had like a very 70s vibe to it, which was very cool. It was like 70s modern. I'm gonna do black ends and do pink on the front. I know I do a lot of pink and purple, but I just love it. And then my hair is also purple right now, so like it just goes together. It just looks cute. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this movie. So basically, Steve looks like the best guy, the perfect guy, a great guy. They aren't together super long. Like they have a few dates, they hook up a couple times, and they both seem like really good together. Like they do actually like really get along and like talk about all these things. And the whole time, like Molly is like happy for Noah. Molly is Noah's best friend, by the way, if I did not already specify that. But she's still like skeptical, because she's just skeptical of like anyone that's dating her best friend or with her best friend. And she's like, oh, I want to see this guy, like what's his Instagram? And Noah's like, oh, he doesn't have an Instagram, he's not on social media, he's not one of those people. And Molly's like, okay, that's sketchy. Like he has no social media at all. Like you can't see his face or see any of his friends or family members or anything. Like that's pretty sketchy. And so right away, like that's kind of like red flag number one. And then he's like, oh Noah, I want to take you out to this secret like getaway thing, like you won't know about it, it's just like a cute little surprise I'm doing for you. And she's like, oh, this is so cute, da da da. And she talks to Molly about it, and of course Molly's like, okay, well make sure you tell me where you're going like as soon as you find out, and like be careful, because like you don't really know this guy. Like you should never just be like, okay, yeah, take me on some secret rendezvous in the woods where there's no cell signal. Like that's sketchy. But again, I think that's why the first 30 minutes are important, because it really sets like, it shows you how, I don't want to say Noah's desperate, okay, but she really wants a boyfriend. So her and Steve, they're going out on their rendezvous. It's a big surprise, yada yada. And the closer they get, he finally, like basically he waits until they don't have any cell signal. And he's like, okay, I can't wait anymore, I'll tell you whatever. So she tells him, or he tells her, and then she's like, okay. And so she's like messaging Molly, and she's like, I'm gonna let her know where I am, da da da. And she's like, oh, I have no cell signal. And he's like, oh, it'll get better the closer we get. And you can kind of see on her face that she's starting to get a little worried, and she's like, maybe Molly was right. Maybe I shouldn't have just jumped into this. But it's too late now, you're already in the car, like, what do you do? So at this point she's getting like a little like nervous, whatever, but she doesn't, you know, she's like, whatever, it's fine. Which, I don't know, like he's driving, what do? You still think he's a nice guy, whatever. They get there, super nice house, this guy's rich, he's a doctor, all the things, of course, like literally too good to be true. And they get there, and right away, as soon as he got them drinks, I was like, that drink spiked. I knew it right away. And then she drank it and was like, I was really expecting her, so she starts to kind of get woozy, and you can see like she's like, you know, all over the place. And I was really expecting her to be like, what did you put in this, or did you drug me, or da da da. But she didn't say anything until she like just passes out, which maybe she kind of knew, but she was like, I'm not gonna confront him, because she just didn't want, I don't know, to make him mad when he's already like probably a crazy person. And again, I had literally no idea what this movie was actually about. So once she passed out, I was like, I just kind of assumed that he was going to, I was kind of worried where it was going. I really thought he was going to keep her for like himself, if you know what I mean. And I was like, oh, where is this going? But then as it went into it and she like passed out and woke up and she was like chained to the floor, and he was like, oh, I'm not gonna do, you know, XYZ to you. I'm literally just gonna chop you up into pieces and sell you. Like, he literally is just like a butcher. And he sells meat, and it just happens to be women's meat. And I'm like, oh, okay. Which I will tell you right now, the house was giving me cannibal vibes kind of anyway. Well, I guess throughout the movie, even after I knew. But it was reminding me of Hannibal, like the newer show Hannibal that came out. He was giving me his vibes, like very like intelligent. He's a doctor, he's very smart, and he likes to eat meat. It's like, does eating human meat just make you smarter? Like, should I become a cannibal? I don't know. Up for debate, I guess. I just feel like every person that's a cannibal, they're like a genius. I'm like, why is this a thing? So basically right away, like, once she wakes up, Noah wakes up in the room, talks to Steve, whatever, she realizes that there's like other women there, and there's like basically like these cell rooms, and they're all split up, and it's like a concrete whatever, and she can talk to them like through the walls, and some of them have been here for like a long time, like a while, because he just slowly, like, he's a surgeon, so he can take care of you. Like, he can cut off like legs, arms, butts, whatever, and then patch you up, give you drugs, and like keep you alive for a while. And that's what he does. So he's like a serial killer, but like he really takes his time and profits off of this stuff. Like, he does sell them, but also it shows that he like keeps them. Like, this one room, I'm pretty sure is like his trophy room. Like, he has like 2 trophy rooms, unless he's selling the meat and it just sells slow, because he said it was like the 1% of the 1% that like buys from him, or like, or at least cannibals. So it shows this room eventually with like all these legs, arms, thighs, whatever, and they're like named. They have like the person's name on it, the date. So I don't know if that freezer is for him and he's like eating off of it, or if they're keepsakes, or he's selling all those. I'm guessing he's selling and eating them. But then he also has like trophies where he has like the people's cell phones, a picture of them, some of their like belongings behind this big painting, which when Noah first gets there, she sees that painting, and I was like, there's something with this painting. Though, to be fair, I thought that there were like little pictures or something weird where it was like, or like even like their blood or something, I don't know, or flesh, I don't know. And I thought that there was like some kind of pieces of each victim like in the painting somehow, and that he like added to it, but actually it was just a regular painting, and he pushed a button and it like opened up and it showed all the what is it, all the trophies from like all of his victims. So I kind of knew like the painting was like a thing, I just didn't know exactly what. I was thinking more probably sadistic with like the painting being like people being parts of them in the painting. It wasn't that. It was behind the painting, but whatever. And eventually, like, he obviously kind of likes Molly, or not Molly, sorry, Noah. He actually likes Noah. So he ends up giving her like this notebook, or this, it's not a notebook, a magazine. And in the magazine it says, if you're reading this, like, he likes you, so use that to your advantage. And so after that, she was like actually like being like nice to him. I guess nice, but like there were other, you know, circumstances behind that. And like, oh, what does the meat taste like? Like, she was doing all these things. Like, she was being very smart about it. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I don't know if I could even be like that good at being deceptive. I don't know, to be honest. But she did such a good job. And at one point I was kind of thinking, like, I was even kind of hoping that they were gonna like get together, which is so messed up, but I was like, oh, maybe she like is deep down like some kind of like psychopath serial killer. But I kind of also didn't think that, because after she first like ate the meat with him, she was like throwing it back up, and I was like, okay, so she was doing this for show, which is smart. But part of me was kind of like, wait, are they gonna like run away and be like crazy together? I don't know, I wasn't sure. But then later on, Molly starts to realize that who's texting her is probably not Noah, because earlier in the movie they're on the phone together and Molly's like, love you, and Noah always says love you more, and I'm guessing that's probably how they always like in their conversations. And on the phone, Molly was like, okay, like texting, she was like, okay, have fun, love you. And then Noah replied back with just a heart. And that was like that was like red flag number probably 3 for her, because there was a lot of red flags for her. Like, Molly knew what was up right away. And so thankfully, well, honestly, not even thankfully, like, Molly could have not done anything. I expected more from Molly's part. Like, I thought she would kind of like rescue Noah more, but Noah ended up actually rescuing her, and really Molly's life just got messed up because of Noah. So like, I expected her to actually like help save her, but Noah kind of did all the saving on her own. But we really appreciate Molly for trying. She did, like, she went above and beyond for her friend. So she ends up finding out who Steve is, and or at least where he lives, from like the bartender. Was a whole thing, which also I thought he would actually do more. Like, he went, like, they both did all that they really could do, I guess, but he got there to the house. The friend did, like, later on once Molly's abducted all the things, and he literally just like, nope, I'm out of here, and turns around. I really thought that he was going to like hear them yelling. He heard the shots fired. He just left. I was like, you really, like, this is the right place, which maybe he didn't know that. He wasn't 100% sure. He just saw the house and was like, oh, okay, like, he didn't know. But he knew there's some sketchy things going on, and then these shots happen. Like, obviously that's probably the house. Like, that's where the phone took you, yada yada. And he just left. And I'm like, boy, come on now. Like, that's so crappy. But, I mean, he didn't know. Like, he could have died. I mean, he doesn't owe anyone his life, so whatever, it's fine. But Molly, on her, as she was trying to find or at least save Noah, she ends up at that guy's house. And to be honest, at first I thought the wife just didn't know, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, she just doesn't even know that her husband's like a serial killer. And then as soon as they were like talking whatever, he came in and they were leaving, and she called the phone, which was smart, but she should have waited till she was out of the house and then did it so she could at least run away. But it was smart. And when that went off and he turns around and was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, I was like, oh, I was like, that wife knows. Like, she knows, and she did, and she got that guy. And then later on it shows his wife in the shower, and she's missing a leg. So I'm guessing that she was probably one of his like first victims or something, and fell in love, or her missing a leg kind of reminds me of like Dexter. I reference so many shows and movies as if you've seen everything I've seen, but from Dexter, like, his brother, who is also like a surgeon, and he's just a serial killer, not a cannibal, and he is like obsessed with women that are missing like limbs because he has like a sexual thing with it. I'm guessing this guy has the same thing, where like it is kind of a sexual thing for him too, or at least he's so into the missing limbs and stuff that like his wife has to have a missing limb. I don't know, so I'm not sure. She's definitely in on it, she knows what's going on, but I don't know if she was a victim or if she's just his type and then also knows about it. I feel like with all those things together and how he's like this like charming, like whatever, I'm guessing she was one of like first victims, and then he kind of fell in love with her, whatever. It's like a whole thing. And the whole thing was giving me obviously like Stockholm syndrome vibes. I was like, this, I almost tweeted this, but like, I don't want to be that person that like gives away things, but I was almost like, this is like the more realistic or horror version of Beauty and the Beast. Like, literally you're trapped in his like castle, but he's also eating off of you, but he is a monster. He just doesn't look like a physical monster, but he is an actual monster. And you're like, he's like making you fall in love with him even though he cut off your butt cheeks. I don't know, it's like a whole thing. So it was giving me real like Beauty and the Beast vibes, but like rated R. Anyone else get those vibes? I don't know. I don't know what I just love this movie because like it was horror, but then it was kind of like this like romantic thing. It was like really cute. Part of me wanted her to kill him. Part of me wanted them to like kill together and whatever. But he already took off the butt cheeks, so he already made it. He already went too far. Like, if he wouldn't have done anything to her and then they fell in love and then just like killed together, and she also was like this secret psychopath, sadist, whatever, and then they like found each other. Cute, we love that. But that's not what happened. I would say though, when everything did go down, when like that part happened, I was not expecting it. Like I actually kind of thought she was just gonna sleep with him and just like keep this like charade going for a little bit more, but she literally bit off this man's whole penis. I don't know if I actually bit it off, but there was a lot of blood. And I was like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Love that. When she looked up and her mouth was just covered in blood and he was like screaming, and I was like, okay, sis, more power to ya. But then the whole chase scene, I love horror movies, obviously, and every time there's a chase scene, it literally gives me so much anxiety, and I'm like on the edge of my seat and I'm like, what is going on? Like run, 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 run. Like I'm literally that bitch that's like watching a movie and like, run bitch, run. Like I can't deal. I'm always screaming at my TV or telling them what to do, and they almost never listen to me, but that's fine. But again, so going back to Molly, so he gets Molly, and I don't know, like when Noah opens the door, so she like locks him in his room because he's sitting there with like his penis bleeding, whatever, and she goes to rescue the girls, which we love that. She could have just ran and saved herself, but she rescued them. She was like, you're not taking their butt cheeks, not today. And so like she's getting them. She goes into Molly's room, and I really thought that she would be like, oh my god, but she like went in and she was like, Molly, da-da-da, I got you. And I'm like, did you know she was there? I mean, she could have, but when he took Molly through, he already put her in the room, so Noah couldn't have seen her, I don't think. And maybe she was still just like in such a hurry that she was like, it doesn't even matter who's in this room, like let's go bitch, oh my god, it's my best friend, let's go bitch, and was just kind of like trying to get out so fast that it didn't even matter. She was just like, oh my god. But I expected there to be a scene where he's like, I have your best friend. Like even when he put her back in the room, I really thought that he was going to be like, look who I have. And when he got her the dress, when he brought the box in before she bit off the penis, or bit into the penis, whatever. When he brought that box in, I was expecting that to be her friend's head. Actually, there was a lot of scenes I thought as soon as he kidnapped Molly. At one point he brought a bag in, but I think that had the gift box in it. I thought the bag was Molly's head, and then he had the box, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be Molly's like eyes or face or something. And then when he drug Molly out and had him over the shoulder, I was like, okay, he's gonna show her and be like, look, I have your friend. He never did that to her. And I'm like, as a psychopath sadist, like, isn't that the first thing you would do is be like, haha, I have your friend, cry and be sad. Like, I feel like that's like every serial killer ever would do that. So that was kind of like, I don't know, I expected more. But then again, he was actually falling for Noah, so he probably wasn't even, obviously he did it more so because Molly knew. Like Molly knew that he did something to her. I mean, she did not know the specifics, obviously. But, and obviously he's gonna make money off of her. Like, he's not just gonna kill her. He's a businessman. Okay, this is looking cute. We're gonna add some glitter. You know me, I love my glitter. I really love white under the bottom corner of my eyes. Like, it just makes the rest of my makeup pop. It looks cool. I love it. Okay, under eyes looking cute. We're gonna add some more pink to this right here, to this outer part. So once Noah lets all the other girls out, there's 2 other girls. She lets them out, and eventually Steve catches up with them, and they're in the kitchen, and I just love that scene. Like, these women are like missing legs, missing pieces of their body, like have literally just had the shit kicked out of them for like the last week or longer, and they kick this man's ass for the most part as much as like they can, because obviously he's like, he like works out, he's well, you know, eats well, takes care of himself, like hasn't been trapped in like a dungeon and caged up for however long and treated like crap. But these women are like badass, and they're like stabbing him and doing all these things, and I'm just like, so many times I'm like, stab him in the throat right now. Like so many times, stab him in the face, in the eyeball, in the throat, like aim for the neck. Like, I don't know, so many times I'm just like, come on. And once they had the upper hand and they like knock his ass out, I'm like, slit his throat, cut off his head. I hate in a horror movie. I know it's like every horror movie is like, there's a bad guy, you finally knock him out or get him off you or whatever, and you run away. No, bitch, he is knocked out. Or they like climb on top of him and it's like this dramatic like thing like, I'm gonna kill you now, and then they like wake up and grab him. Like, I get that's part of the movie because like you don't want to just be over right now, but as a human being it's stupid and it makes me mad. I'm like, if you have the upper hand, always kill them. Always, 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 always. Like, especially in this situation, like this guy is literally a psychopath. Like, he's literally been chopping you, hacking you up, eating you in the worst way, not a good way, and killing you. It's like, oh my goodness, like, kill this man. And there was like 2 different times, I believe, where they kind of had the upper hand and just ran away, and I'm like, kill this motherfucker right now, do it. It was driving me nuts. And then finally he has the gun, he's chasing them, which is when the other guy, the friend, is like, that is the bartender, that he gets out there and he hears gunshots. He's like, nope, not today. He like got out of there, which, to be fair, I mean, I don't want to die either, so like I get it, but like, come on now, like, these are supposed to be your friends. Like, I don't know. I guess the worst he would do is he found the house, he would leave and call the police, but all the police are gonna find at that point are bodies, so a little too late for that. But when they got out there and she finally grabbed the gun and shot him in the freaking head, and I'm like, thank God, come on. Like, you should have slit his neck earlier, and you guys would have been in the clear for the most part. Though, to be fair, they didn't know that one woman was going to come out there. And then right there was like the biggest Stockholm syndrome, because I would bet, I don't think, let me know in the comments if like there was some revealing thing in this movie that showed that Steve's wife was previously a victim. Maybe she was in the board somewhere, I don't know. But, oh, I think she was though, because actually when she gets into the house and Steve's already outside dead wherever he's at, and the woman, his wife, gets to that house and she's like looking around and she finds that his cell phone is in that box, and I almost think that there was a picture of her and like some of her belongings where she was just another victim but like still alive and helping him for the most part, or at least helping to keep his cover. I mean, she is helping him in some aspect if she knows what's going on, but I also like, I feel like at this point is like Stockholm syndrome, whatever. So, and then she's like kind of like, you can tell she's hurt because she thought she was like the only one, like, you love me, but the rest of the girls are just meat. And she sees like the wine glasses and realizes like he's been doing like stuff with other people too, like these other women. And then she still gets outside though, and she was like, you killed him, and she was so upset. And I'm like, bitch, you should have been like, boy, bye. Like, already he's a terrible person, but then also he's like cheating on you, which is not the worst thing he's done, but I mean, of all things, that's probably the one thing that would actually bother her at this point. And it's like, boy, bye. Like, you should have been like, get out of here, girl. Like, he's a piece of crap. All right, we're gonna do glitter in the middle here. So once they kill Steve and I believe kill his wife too, it basically doesn't show much more. It just kind of cuts off and that's the end. I mean, great ending, beautiful ending. My favorite part is when she literally bites his penis off basically, and then just like mouthful of blood runs and saves her friends, or at least the other ladies. But I wanted to see like afterwards, kind of like how they were doing, and I wanted to see Noah be like, oh, I'm being much more safe nowadays, which I'm sure she is. Or even like the police get there and they're like going through things. I don't know. I kind of always loved like when it shows like a couple hours later, like the next morning, and it's showing like the police and they're like, oh my gosh, and they start talking about like the guy and the havoc he's caused or something. I don't know. Or I thought they were gonna like, the police were gonna show up and be like, oh, like this woman talking about his wife has been missing since so and so, so like you can clarify like, is this like, was she a victim the whole time? I'm assuming she is, but we never really get any clarification, and I want some clarification. I want to know. So let me know down in the comments what you liked or didn't like about this movie, what you expected. Did you kind of also want them to like run away together and be like little cannibal couple? Because like there for a minute, part of me like kind of wanted that to happen. I'm like, can you guys just go be psychos together, because you're so cute? But also like her just straight using him because he's a dumbass was like my favorite thing. I was like, oh, you just got played. But that is a lot of thanks to the woman that left the little note in the magazine. And it showed her, so like it showed her name, like she signed it, and then it showed that she like died on the thing. So I think that also was part of like, that was another realization for Noah, was like, okay, I can only do this for so long, he's still going to kill me. Like, he has no emotions, he's emotionless, which I feel like most psychopaths are. I don't know, I'm assuming so. So she kind of knew, like, regardless of what she did with him, for him, that was still gonna be her fate. So her only option was to chop that penis off, girl. Okay, this looks so stinking cute. We're gonna do like a black in the middle, and then instead of fading in like I usually do, I'm gonna fade out and do more of like a pink, a light pink on the sides, and then black in the middle. So this is it for my look. My lips are looking cute, kind of a backwards ombre. I'm here for all the shinies and sparklies. Okay, let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this movie, or if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post. I try to post every Friday or somewhere around there. Make sure you go like or go follow me on all of my socials right here, Chelsea Wrath, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, TikTok, and now I have a letterbox so you can see what I'm watching, what I think about everything in kind of real time. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.